And I may as well be the first to ask this question, because I suspect that it's going to get asked a lot over the next course of 17 games. But if that is the level, and if they continue to produce performances like that, why not Michael Carrick long term?
I said it before the game, and I say it now. I think why not give him an opportunity? Like I said before, you've got managers who we consider to be top level managers, the greatest managers. We talk about Guardiola, Zidane, Arteta at the moment. Those guys manage teams, the B team of Barcelona, the B team of Real Madrid, and an assistant to Pep Guardiola, and they went and had amazing success at top football clubs. So for me, I think the timing, could you argue, cool, yeah, there's bigger names that are going to be available. If he builds something here in these next 17 games, what would be the point of bringing someone else in to build off what he's built? Like, give him an opportunity. He might grow into becoming a top-level coach, and we go, fantastic. Like, I like the fact he's an English manager, he's getting an opportunity, and today was a performance that you look at and you go, listen, if this man can build something, he deserves it for me. I don't see the point in looking elsewhere, and you can always say, yeah, that looks good, oh yeah, that looks nice over there. You know what? Stick with what you got, baby.
Would you give him it, Roy?
Well, I'll give him what he wants. Sign the contract.
Maybe it's to do with the blend of the coaching stuff.
No, listen, again, we'll give credit where it's due. Absolutely fantastic. But let's judge it over the next few months. Again, the key for him, I think, now is try and get momentum into this team, this belief. Again, no other distractions. Focus on the league matches. There's quality players there, as we know that. They've not had that. They've not been consistent enough. And today they've got a clean sheet. They maybe have two centre-halves now, experienced players who can get a partnership together and stay injury-free. And all these little things fall into place. You've got a striker, players coming off the bench having an effect. But maybe some of the PR with Carrick has been good over recently. You just mentioned, because he's an English coach, the English media will be pushing for that. Even Man United, he's done well today, but let's see over the next few months how he does.
It could give them a real headache, couldn't it, Mike? If they were to do well, and then would you, if you were in Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada's shoes, to then say, thanks, Michael, but we're going to go in a different direction this summer?
It's difficult. I said that, I was asked when I was doing the League Cup on Tuesday, and they said, I think it's a bit of a conundrum that they find himself in, because if he puts in performances like that, then you have to really give him the job. But I was speaking to Gary before the game, and he just wants someone who's elite. But someone elite coming here doesn't automatically think success. So
like a Jose Mourinho or Van Gaal.
It is a difficult one, but I think what I like, it's not just about him, it was the players buying into what they was doing on the pitch today. If you look at the way Man United defended today, it was all together. But not only that, when they defended, they could get out. When they played the other system, it's sort of like they was locked in and then they had no way to get out. And on that transition, I thought it was fantastic. That we talked about before, about the Johnny Evans in there and people like giving them confidence. You mentioned Steve Holland, and he's a person who does that. And that's what I think Man United have missed over the last 18 months.
But they've won one game.
No, but the
previous manager won one game.
It's a manner in which you win a game. If United would have fluked this game 1-0, I would tend to agree with it. But they had 5 and 6 clear opportunities. They defended well and they looked organised as a group, mixed in with confidence as well that Carrick had given. Look, I'm not naive to say give him the job now.
He's only been there for 3 days. All of a sudden, no.
But they needed the lift. This was about a lift.
It was more than that, wasn't it?
The formation change for me is key. The previous manager, Ruben Amorim, played a formation that didn't suit the players.
Fletch changed it. Fletch changed it.
But
there was players missing. He had 2-3 players missing.
It's that feel-good factor.
You know about if you look at a lot of managers' careers and timing, and Carrick's coming here to United, I think it's the dream scenario for him to come in. Everyone's available. You got Manchester City at home, who they've been offered a little bit. You're at home, you've got players available, you could have a man sent off, time and a little bit of luck, they've made the most of it. I'll take nothing away from him. I'm happy to give credit where it's due. And fantastic today. But everyone just calm down.
I'm calm.
That's me saying
I'm calm. But what I'm
even more down.
No. I'm staying.
You're saying give him the job.
What are you saying, Daniel?
No, because you know what? I think today buys him a bad result or two. I think a performance like now, if they lose next week, it's like, you know what? Well, last week.
But his target. What's his target? To finish 4th.
Yeah, Champions League.
Fourth. Are they getting to
maybe
Europe?
5th as well.
5th, of course. But getting to Europe, but 4th is realistic. And you're going, well, that's what Man United should be thinking. We shouldn't be sitting there going, scratching our heads, going, what could United finish 4th? Even the last week or two, when we've been doing games and we've been disappointed at United, we've been saying, but 4th is a realistic target.
But it hasn't been the case, has it? For once in the last 4 seasons, I think they finished in the top 5.
I know, but the last few months we have been saying, but because of the way the league is at the moment, there is a chance for United to finish 4th. It's not miracles we're talking about here. And if he gets to 4th and he doesn't get the job, it'll still lead Carrick to get another job somewhere, because people look and go, listen to the way he's handled himself, he's been great, he's been cool, and United plays a positive way. Okay. But most people who would have took this job today would have played that way.
Let me ask you a question. With the players that Man United have in their squad, where do you think they should be finishing? Because if you're saying that they're not ready to win the league yet, so Champions League is realistic. So if they finish in the top 4, right now that has to be.
Well, I felt the last few months they were going to miss out. But when you see a performer like that and everyone's available, you're thinking, and because of the way the league is this year, the way it's probably, a lot of teams have been inconsistent, barring obviously maybe Villa and of course Arsenal, where City have. You're thinking, yeah, it is a realistic chance, but there's 5 or 6 teams would be thinking that. But if the team can play with that quality and energy week in, week out, and that is the key, then of course they've got a chance of it. Absolutely.
Unbelievable afternoon. What is it like after, let's face it, some tough times to see this place like this?
Unbelievable. Being here with our people, with the fans, with the team, we really know how we suffer on this during the season. But the only way is putting the face here and showing who we are. And I think today it was the best moment to do it. And I think the team, not just the players who were on the pitch, but also on the bench, the staff, everyone was part of that.
Is the togetherness you feel with the fans, the energy that's here right now, just maybe the best you've known it?
Absolutely. I think one important thing that Michael Carrick said, he said, use the energy of the people. And today I think we did it, and when we are together like this, it's impossible to lose at home.
Brian, is it your most special day so far in the red shirt?
Yeah, I think it's one of them. Obviously, scoring in front of this stand is unbelievable. In a derby is even more, and like Licha said, the atmosphere, we used the energy of the fans today, and this place was unbelievable today.
What's it been like for you in the last sort of week or two? You obviously have the pride of going away and representing your country, and while you're there and you come back, everything's changed.
Yeah, obviously, when I came back, a lot of things changed, but I think we have a very good group. We've always been together, stick together. We have fantastic uni, so I think it's unbelievable.
Sandra, obviously Brian got his goal. The other thing that happened today is you kept Man City as a whole, but Erling Haaland quiet. Really proud of that. Not just the defence, but the defensive effort as a whole from the whole team.
Absolutely. When you play against these kind of players, the team defend, not just 1 or 2 players. And I think today we defend so good. We were compact all the time, and then you have the confidence to go to the duels. And I think you feel today different energy when you see in the eyes of the player. And I think today the team won. That's the most important for me, and I'm happy with that.
It feels like we've been talking about your height ever since you came to England, but a defender like you, not the biggest centre-half, how do you deal with a giant like Haaland, and obviously not just a giant, a top player as well?
Being focused the whole game. I think if you give 1 or 2 seconds to Haaland, he will score. And I think you have to be really focused in the game and don't have to be comfortable in the back like nothing happened, because then the switch and the change, the click and the score, they are like this. That's why Haaland every season scored 30, 40 goals. So I think we have to be always focused.
Brian, last word on the new manager. How well has he done to bring you together in terms of the emotional effort, the intensity, and also the tactical switches he made today? How much of this is down to Michael Carrick?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of everything. Obviously, it's not easy because we had only 3 days, and I think as I said, because we are all together, we all want to go in the same way, in the same aim as well. So I think we tried to be as focused as possible today. As Licha said, we've been a lot together. Everyone was defending, everyone was attacking. So at the end, it's been a team effort today. Very good result.
Well played, both of you.
Thank you.
And they get a great reception from the Stretford end as well as they depart from Patrick Davison and why not?
There's been a lot of talk this week about the history and DNA of Manchester United. Was that, this afternoon, a proper Man United performance?
Yes, I don't want to get carried away with all that DNA kind of thing. I think we wanted to play well today. We wanted to put things into the game that we felt would help us do that. Certainly want to be good defensively as a whole team. We felt that we had a threat when we had the ball and on transition at times as well. But actually, when we did have the ball, I thought we looked dangerous. And so all round, I literally, it's an easy thing to say, but I couldn't ask for any more. The boys give absolutely everything in so many ways. 3 days to prepare, little bits of information here and there, and they took everything on board tactically, and then emotionally were able to deal with it. And exactly like we hoped for, really, and to feel that like we did towards the end, and the whole place. I said yesterday it's a magic place, and it certainly was today, and we all felt that.
So tactically, how did you do it? You spoke before the match about kind of targeting certain spaces. I guess having seen it now in behind and switches of play as well, important.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not going to say too much with respect.
It's done now, Michael.
Yeah, but respect it kind of with Pep, and he's such an unbelievable, incredible coach, and there's such a good team that it's not for me to pick them apart kind of publicly. But yeah, I think we wanted to play to our strengths, you know, and we needed to be compact. We needed distances to be as short as possible between the units and between positions, and we needed to move as a team. And I thought largely we did that. A few times it got a little bit opened up, but we still looked dangerous on our front line. I thought the front four, the two wide lads, Ahmad and Pat, I thought were fantastic both ways. And then Brian and Bruno and Mateos coming on, making a difference, and Mason coming on again and nearly getting the goal. I just thought in general everything kind of was as what we kind of would hope for, and hence getting a good result.
I guess even with the career you've had, football doesn't give you many perfect days. Was that almost as perfect as you get, as close to it?
Yeah, I think it's as much as we could have, as close as we could have hoped for. You know, to be honest, coming into the game, the change is not easy. Change is not easy for anyone, but to then have to perform on the back of it is. But I've had a real sense for the last few days, and especially before the game, how much the players were desperate want to have that feeling and want to give success and a feeling to the supporters. I genuinely felt that before the game. I could, if anything, I was more concerned that feeling was
spill over
the top, because they're so keen to do well. But I thought they managed the emotional side of the game unbelievably well, and so that made me proud. You know, to see a team and what's my team today and moving forward is to have that feeling, and was great to see, and then obviously to be able to put it all together was even better.
There was maybe just that one moment where it nearly spilled over, wasn't there? The Dalot challenge, which, I don't know, different day, different ref, different VAR, might have gone against you.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you the token answer, but I literally haven't seen it, to be honest. But
well done.
Yeah, no, I haven't. To be honest, at the time I thought he had kicked the ball out, Diogo, but Sam told me, and his fourth official said that he hadn't, so I've not seen it. It was you know, talking about the offside decisions, I've not seen them either, but apparently they were close, and you know, we could have had more in the game. So that's it. Them type of games you're expected to ebb and flow, and there's going to be decisions, and that's it. Today, if they went for us, they went for us, and we'll take it.
You used the word magical earlier in the interview. I know what you did here and how much you won, but was that right up there? Especially knowing it's your team that's done that.
Yeah, that was that for so many reasons. I think that today was special. You know, putting things together quite quickly, coming in and trying to put print on the team, but gathering together and emotionally getting all, you know, attached to what we want to do, and I felt that unbelievably from the staff, from the players. So that it made it a very special kind of day as it's gone through, and I'm not getting carried away. You know, it's one game, so it's really important we don't get carried away. And, it needs to be a regular feeling of that level of performance, and that's something we obviously got to get to in consistency. So I'm not getting carried away. It's a great day. It's a fantastic result, and there's the element of certainly soaking up and enjoying it. But it's definitely not enough. It's never enough.
And just a word on your coaching staff, because inevitably the credit goes to the man who stands in front of the camera, the man who stands on the touchline. But that group you've assembled around you, how much credit do they deserve for today?
Huge amount. I mean, I'm standing here. I didn't do all the work this week. You know, I've done a lot of the meetings and main meetings and team meetings, and maybe, you know, on the pitch and in front of the players a little bit more. But the intricacies of how much detail to give to certain players and individuals and bits of units, you know, that's a skill, and that's why they're here as well, because they're fantastic coaches. So
I feel like you've got a good blend in there.
Yeah, unbelievable, and Steve's got a really calm head, and so experienced, and Jonathan and Johnny and Trav. You know, I think we've got a real mix of what we can offer the players, because that's what it comes down to. What can we offer the players to make them better? And you know, these 3 days, you look at the result and you think, yeah, it's worked. We got to keep building on that.
Thank you. Well done.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Mikel Arteta's work at Arsenal is being viewed in an even brighter light after the recent coaching shakeups elsewhere. With Chelsea parting ways with Enzo Maresca and Manchester United moving on from Ruben Amorim, the contrast is hard to miss. Arsenal has kept moving forward under Arteta, giving him time through difficult stretches, and now seeing the payoff as the club pushes again in the Premier League title race. It also raises a bigger question about strategy. While Chelsea and United are changing direction again, Arteta has been in place for more than 6 years, outlasting a long list of managers across those two clubs in that span. That stability has become part of the story, and it was a major talking point on the Seeing Red podcast with Tom Canton and John Cross. Beyond reacting to Amorim's dismissal and breaking down wins over Aston Villa and Bournemouth, plus Manchester City's loss to Chelsea, the conversation kept returning to one core idea: structure. Not just who is the coach, but how much power that coach has, and whether the club is built to support a long-term project. Cross pointed to Arsenal as a rare example of patience turning into real strength. He argued that Arsenal's willingness to back Arteta through the messy early phases helped create the stable position they're in now, and that this kind of time and support investment is what can turn a club into something truly solid. Canton's response was sharp and honest. Arteta's arc, he said, has almost become a problem for other clubs, because it tempts them to keep coaches they probably shouldn't. But at the same time, it's still the best example of what can happen when you hire the right person and actually give them time. And that time wasn't smooth. The discussion highlighted how Arsenal could easily have pulled the plug early. 2 8th-place finishes, then 5th, missing out on the Champions League, and a Europa League semi-final exit to Unai Emery's Villarreal. Any of those moments could have pushed a club into panic mode. Instead, the argument is that Arsenal recognized the bigger reality. Arteta didn't have the resources to compete at the required level right away. The squad needed a rebuild. The roster needed to be refreshed. That's where the comparison to Chelsea and United becomes even more pointed. The podcast suggested that recruitment and decision-making structure are often what determine whether a coach survives. If signings don't land, results suffer. And if a coach doesn't have enough influence, or the club isn't aligned behind a clear plan, it becomes much easier for things to collapse. In other words, giving time only works if the coach is empowered to shape the team in a way that matches the vision. Cross also emphasized that Arteta's situation stood out because he pushed to be a true manager, not just a head coach. The idea is simple. Top coaches want a real say in the build, and they want the club to match what they were promised when they took the job. The discussion even pointed to how Arteta survived a low moment, like the home loss to Burnley, because the club stayed behind him. And in that period, with fan pressure affected by the COVID-era environment, Arsenal were able to hold their nerve instead of reacting emotionally. Meanwhile, the big unknowns now shift back to Chelsea and Manchester United. Who replaces Amorim? And how will the next chapter look at Chelsea? The answers may come sooner than people expect. But for Arsenal, the reality stays the same. They're stable, they're moving forward, and they're still in the title chase, while others are starting over again. And that contrast can shape how people judge every manager in the league. Because when two massive clubs hit the reset button again, it forces the same question Cross raised on the show. Is the quick switch actually fixing the problem, or just delaying the real work? The bigger takeaway from the discussion is that time isn't a magic solution by itself. It only becomes valuable when the club's structure supports the plan, and when the coach has the influence to push the squad in the direction he believes it needs to go. That's why the distinction between head coach and manager kept coming up. The podcast point is that if a coach is expected to own the results, he usually wants a meaningful say in the decisions that shape those results. And if he doesn't get that, patience alone won't save him. That's also where Arteta's early struggles get reframed. Those finishes and setbacks could have become a reason to panic. Instead, they became evidence of why alignment matters, because Arsenal chose to treat them as part of a build, not a final verdict. And once the squad was reshaped the way the club believed it needed to be, the results started to reflect that long-term approach. So the repercussions aren't just about Arsenal looking stable, it's about how stability changes your margin for error. When you don't reset every year, you're not constantly starting from zero. You're building on decisions, learning from setbacks, and keeping a clearer identity. For Chelsea and Manchester United, the immediate consequence is obvious. They're changing direction again, which means the next appointment carries even more weight. Because every new coach isn't just judged on results. He's judged on whether the club is finally giving him the structure and authority that the role demands. That's why the question at the end matters so much. Who will replace Amorim, and how will Liam Rosenior do at Chelsea? Because those answers will test the exact theme the show kept returning to: time, support, structure, and control. And for Arsenal, it's a different kind of pressure. Stability doesn't guarantee trophies, but it does keep you in the fight longer. And right now, while others restart, Arsenal get to stay focused on what they're already doing, chasing the Premier League title.